There's a Kali Yuga. Have you heard of that term?
Mm-mm.
So in the Hindus have large cycles. Like we have 2100, the Aquarian and the Piscean. They have the Kali Yuga, which is 26,000 years. And we're at the very end right now. And it's called the Age of Forgetting. And we're just entering the golden age. But we're in this threshold. We're in this very thin threshold between worlds where we're going to be done with this old system that is so painful that our parents, you are heralding in and your children, an entirely new way of being. In the meantime, it's painful, the transition, because we're so confused. Unfortunately, they never send us the memo. This is the end of an era. Don't worry. Everything's okay.
Wow. Okay. So can you provide clarity on the lens of the sun, the moon, and the rising? Because I hear about these from Carrie Michelle. I've been fully confused the whole time.
Wait, did we just leave behind the biggest transition on the planet? We're going to the sun, moon, and rising?
We are, because I don't know if that really landed for people. Like it's literally like taking a book and closing it, but then the clarity comes from the way that you see it.
I love that.
The lens that you see it.
And
if you want to go deeper into
all
that
I'm going to say is the simple version of that particular comment is we are in a birthing canal as a human race, and we're not prepared with enough midwives in the room to say, don't worry. So I want to say to everyone, we're in a transition. We're at the end of an era. Every single system, from the Mayans to the Kali Yuga to the astrology system, everyone's screaming the same thing. We're at the end of an era, and it's worthy of us to stop and realize, oh, it's okay. And from that, it's all I want to do is give the gift of the balm of the elder saying to you, we've seen this all before, and it will pass, and it is a very happy ending.
What's the ending?
It's a transition to a whole new species. And I can't put it into words. I can't really tell you, except that I know there'll come a time when all the things you love the most, deep conversations, healthy food, being fair, sharing our money, living in harmony, understanding what it is to be respectful and have justice, that will be coming.
It sounds like a world I'd love to play in.
I love that. You're making it. You're setting the stage. That's why we're on the podcast.
Can we go to my question about the lens?
Yes, please.
Okay. The reason I'm asking that is because I like to gather facts so that I can make sense of things, right?
Said Virgo rising.
I really do. And so Carrie talks about the sun and the moon, the rising all the time. And I listen and I'm like, I don't get it. So can you give us that clarity?
That's so sweet. So the sun, the life-giving force, 93 million miles away, the most influential, energetic to every plant, every flower, what you wore today, everything is based on that sun. It gives us our life force. Where it was when you were born as a Taurus describes your life force, the primary ego structure of your personality type. When you dive into the book and you read Taurus, you're going to laugh because you're so Taurus.
Oh, I got
No. Did you? Of course he did.
It's right here. Taurus, stop and smell the flowers. That's what I do with Nova.
I love that you just did that.
I bookmarked it. Yeah.
And everyone's going to do that. They're going to read the book and they're going to look for their sun sign. Good job. So Taurus is stop and smell the flowers. You learn about your ego structure. Go slow, be calm, be focused. The moon describes the inner world at night. What's going on in the unconscious, the part of us that lives in the depths. You were born under a full moon. So that's auspicious. It only happens once a month. It's a sign of a really big energetic. The whole world wakes up in a full moon, harder to sleep. The waters rise, crime raises. It's a real thing. You were born under a very strong, emotional, intuitive moon where you're so, I just want to swear, you're so fucking Scorpio. You pierce people. Why is this interview so good? Why are you so good at this? You take your focus and you stay the whole, that's very Scorpio.
Yeah.
That's the moon in Scorpio. Your emotional temperament. The inner world, the dark world, has a depth to it that can't tolerate mediocrity and will stay the course no matter what. And then the third is the rising sign. This is in the book, is your soul. It's called the ascendant. It's the higher self. It's what you're aiming for. And yours is Virgo, which is the selfless server who loves to help people more than anything else. At the worst, they criticize themselves and feel like they're never getting it right. And they worry. They get nervous. At their best, they remember, oh, wait a minute. I'm nervous because I really want to do a good job. I can relax. I always do a good job.
Yeah.
So that's the rising sign is your soul, your rising. The moon is your inner world at night, your emotional temperament. And the sun is your life-giving force. It's the part that you will never, ever get rid of. Ha ha. You're a Taurus and I'm a Gemini, in case you were wondering.
So we all have these proclivities based on our sun, our moon, and our rising that are really impossible to overcome. And you even said that my fear is a gift, which was so counterintuitive. I'm like, what is she talking about? Why is my fear a gift?
Because you're born under a full moon in Scorpio and they scare themselves. It gives you the awareness of how to stay on edge, how to be present, how to make sure you don't miss anything. You're the guy that we would want in crisis. You know exactly how to handle intensity. So it creates a little bit of edginess because your awareness is on and you're paying attention to where the negativity is. You've got like a lie detector test. So on one hand, what a great detective. What a seer. On the other hand, it's a little scary. It's the doctor. It's the energy of a surgeon. We come in and we say everything that's wrong and you're like, I'll cut that. Don't you worry, I'm here. So it creates what is the doctor? Every single day he hears what's wrong. You're here to help us figure out how to take off whatever's wrong. And that's what you're teaching us on your podcast and your supplements and your biohacking. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. The proclivity we have, it doesn't have to be a death sentence. Like, it can be so good.
Oh, there's high road and low road in the book.
Okay,
everything has a high road and low road. So the low road of Scorpios, they're miserable. They go very dark and they don't laugh. They're heavy. The high road is they're piercing and they're poignant. And they will talk about death and fear and sex like fearlessly. High road, low road. Low road of Taurus, insecure, a little scared, feels vulnerable and nobody really likes me. High road of Taurus, the Buddha. I know exactly how to stay still. I'm not going to impress you. I don't need to. My ego's quiet.
Does each sign have a high and a low, or are there any common threads that
all of them
go
have a high
them?
And low, and they're all distinct.
Individual. What's your high road?
Well, my high road is a channel. You may have noticed. I have the gift of the gab.
Yes.
And my low road is a dipstick. Just superficial and dippy and watching social media and being entertained by TikTok.
Yes. It's interesting with
that was funny.
It's very funny. Look, these phones right now in our end of the Piscean age, the beginning of
mass weapons of distraction.
They're mass weapons of distraction, but there's like people are watching this potentially on their phone right now. So there's a gift in every what is perceived evil or bad.
It's always true down here. It's a dualistic reality. The sun and the moon, the night and the day, the men and the women. Goes on and on and on.
What's been the hardest paradox for you in your life to see as actually love and of service?
What's been the hardest paradox for me to see? Mm-hmm. I have a really hard time with this existence. I can't stand that people are hungry. I don't get it. I don't know why there's any children being violated. I can't even talk about it. So it's not easy. This planet is not easy for me. Some people have so much fun here. And I have definitely done a perfect recipe with a little spice of fun because I live half the time in Hawaii. And so I live in a very ecstatic state. But it never leaves my awareness that this place is mean and it hurts me.
Well, I told you I wasn't going to ask this, but now's the perfect time to ask. The two worlds, this is like big question for me of like, how do I hold my mom in her process of bipolar? And how do I also know that life is good and I'm here to serve? How do you hold those two worlds of knowing there's hunger and then knowing what you're here to do?
It's such a great question. We said that earlier.
I said I wasn't going to ask it.
It's okay. It's the most important question. How do you live in two worlds?
Exactly.
There's dimensions here behind the veil, and there's dimensions here at the physical plane. I think the simplest answer for me is doing my practice, my spiritual practice, which is to disengage at times, to go into my observer, to go into my meditation and drop the story. Yeah. And that's why sacred medicine are here, and that's why meditation and why yoga and why healing bowls and essential oils, all these things remind us, oh, it's so sweet when I find that still place in the middle. And it's a practice, and I do it every day. And I've gotten better as I've gotten older. I did not come this way. I was a wreck. I was an emotional wreck because it hurt me so much. This place hurt me. I couldn't figure out where the middle was. And eventually, as time has gone by, I've really made a practice of sitting in the middle.
If you love that video, you'll love the one on the screen right now. Click the one on the screen and enjoy.